Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about solving right triangles. All right, you're going to need a pen or pencil and a calculator and your notes, of course, please. Here we go. Make sure you get this definition written down. To solve a right triangle means you have to determine the measure of all 6 parts. You need to find the lengths of all 3 sides and the measures of all 3 angles. Okay, so we have to know everything about the triangle, all the angles and all the sides. That's how we're going to solve our right triangle. Make sure you have this written down, please. And then we're going to do 2 examples and then we're done for the day. So example number 1, excuse me. We have to solve the right triangle or round decimals to the nearest tenth. Okay, so first thing, if we look at this, we know 2 angles. We can find that third angle right here because we know a triangle has to add up to 180. So if we want to find the measure of angle E, we're just going to take 180 minus 90 minus 25. So the measure of angle E equals 65 degrees. So now we know all of our angles. Now we have to go back and we need to find our other 2 missing sides. I'm going to call this side X and this side Y. Now I personally like to use what is given to me, so I'm going to use my 25-degree angle. So this is going to be the opposite, this is going to be the adjacent, and this is going to be the hypotenuse. Now we're just going to plug in. I'm going to solve for x first. So if I do that, I'm going to use opposite and hypotenuse, and that is sine. So the sine of 25 equals x over 13. Now we always want to multiply by whatever's on the bottom. So we're going to multiply both sides by 13. So in our calculator, do 13 times the sine of 25 is going to equal our x. We plug that into our calculator, and we're going to get 5.5 equals x. All right, moving on. So we know what x is. Now we need to find y, because we have to find our third side. So we're using adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's cosine of 25 equals adjacent, which is y, over the hypotenuse. We multiply by whatever's on the bottom. So we're going to multiply both sides by 13. So I get 13 times the cosine of 25 equals y. Type that into our calculator and we get 11.8 equals y. So now I know all 3 side lengths and all 3 angles, so now this problem is done. All right, moving on. Now this one, I know 2 sides and I know 1 angle. So I'm going to find my first side this time first. So I'll have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to have 3 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. 3 squared is 9 plus 2 squared is 4 equals c squared. 13 equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides. There's no perfect square that can go into 13, so I'm going to have the square root of 13 equals c. That right there is my final side. So I have the square root of 13 for this side. Now I have to find angle A and I have to find angle B. So if I'm going to find angle A first, I'm going to use the 2 sides that they gave me. So if I'm finding angle A, I know the opposite and I know the adjacent. So if I use opposite and adjacent, I'm going to work with tangent. So the measure of angle A equals the inverse tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to type that into my calculator. So the measure of angle A is, we're going to round to the nearest degree. So we have 34 degrees. Now I'm going to go back and do the same thing, except for now I'm going to find the measure of angle B. So now this is no longer the adjacent. It is now the opposite of angle B, and this is the adjacent. So I'm still using opposite and adjacent. So to find measure of angle B, I'm going to use tangent again. So the measure of angle B equals the inverse tangent, opposite over adjacent, so 3 over 2. The measure of angle B equals 56 degrees. And we can go back and check. We can add up all our angles. They have to equal 180. So if I take 90 plus 34 plus 56, I get 180. There we go. My triangle has been solved. All right, that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be seeing you later. Bye.